Hi, I'm Heather with elevaite365. Today I'm going to give you a quick look at how you can automate testing across your D365 applications and other business applications without coding and without complex setup. I'll show you 3 things: how quickly you can build a test, how it runs, and how we handle one of the biggest challenges in automation, the maintenance. What you're looking at here is Elevaite's 365 homepage. The platform is 100% web-based, so there's nothing to install. You can be up and running in about 20 to 30 minutes. In the top left, you're going to see where you'll set up your applications. I have mine set up for D365, but you would add your application. You'll see our pre-list of D365 applications that we have optimized using this tool. You can also add any other custom web-based application here. So if you have like Shopify or another warehouse web app that integrates, you can simply add it and test that as well. Once you have your application set up, you will need to set up 2 things: the environments and authentication. You can have as many environments as you want. There's no extra charge per environment. To set up an environment, you give it a name. You can select a version just to help you with version control, and then give it the environment URL. That's it. Then you will set up a test user or a test account that you will use to run your test cases. We also fully support MFA through our own multi-factor app, so your existing security policies stay in place. But really, that is how quick and easy it is to set up. We have a folder structure where you can then set up your tests and create your test. I've just created one maybe for business module based or business process, but really you define how you want your test folder structure to be. So that gives you a quick sense of how everything is organized. Let me show you how quick it is to record and create a step. So I'm going to hit create test over here on the left. I'm going to get a create vendor, a test name, and add a user and hit create test. Over here on the right, I'm going to hit run because I want it to spin up the virtual browser. The virtual browser spins up and it's actually logging into the environment. So it automatically adds this Microsoft login step for us. I'm going to double click on it so you can see what it's doing. It's going to my UAT environment, which if I click on here, you'll see it's going to this URL that we had set up for environments. And then it's using this test user account to log in. So again, no coding, no developers needed. It just automatically does this for you. So it's spinning up and it's now logging into F&O. We'll give it a second to do that. There are 2 ways to build tests. You can build one manually or using our recorder. Most customers use our recorder because it's the fastest way to get started. So here we have F&O spun up. I'm going to hit the plus sign. Again, here's all our commands for manual, but I'm going to hit enable recorder. Now it's spinning up. As you notice, when I turn on the recorder, it's still spinning up. Now fields are highlighting in orange. That tells me that's where it's going to record. So I'm going to click on modules, accounts payable, and vendors. And you can see over here on the left that it's recorded those clicks for me. I'm going to go to new. So every click and input is automatically captured as a step. So if you're doing, I have to quit moving my mouse as I talk. I'm going to put in a vendor number. I'm going to give it a group. And then I'm going to give it a name. It's test. And then I'm going to hit save. So as you can see, it's recorded all these clicks. I'm going to stop recording now. So if you're doing manual testing today, you're already doing the work. You're just doing it one more time with the recorder on, and now it's automated. Now let's look to see how it actually looks when we run it. I'm going to stop and close this test. I'm going to go to my library, and I'm going to go to the create customer, and I'm going to hit run so you can see what is happening here when we run a test. So again, it's spinning up a virtual browser and it's logging in. You're going to notice that this step 1 is all in bold. It's open AR module. What I've done is I've created some test steps, and I've consolidated that into one component. And those components are reusable. So I'll double click on that so you can see the component. So what it's doing is the login, it's going to modules, accounts receivable, and then it does a collapse all on the modules just to make sure they're all collapsed. So I can reuse this component in other tests. And that's just one example, but that's how components work. It makes it very powerful. And if ever that component changes, I just have to change it in one place. And all the tests that use it, it's updated. So this, I'm going to let it run for a few minutes. You can see. Now there's fields here in pink. Those are variables. That's where I'm having it store data. So when I say I want to create a new customer, but I want this to run over and over, if I hard code a customer number in, it would fail. But if I make this a variable, I'm saying here's a customer number to use. And before you run, I want you to increment that by 1 and then use that value. So that's what variables, that's one example of how to use a variable. You can also use files or upload an attachment by using variables. So as this goes through, you can see that. Also, one of the biggest challenges with automation is what happens when things change. Even small UI changes in most tools can cause all the tests to break. Like, for example, a button label changing from new to create can break dozens or hundreds of tests. With elevaite365, we use AI to handle that automatically. If something changes in the interface, we analyze the screen, identify the most likely match, and continue the test without interruption. You'll see a notification explaining what changed, and you can choose to accept or reject it, so you still stay in control. But it'll fix those so you don't have to go into every test and fix. We do fix those small UI changes. If there is a real process change, a workflow change, we will let those fail because you need to then decide how you want to handle it. As you can see, when it ran, all the steps that ran, it'll mark as green check mark, so you know they ran successfully. If one failed, it would stop and it would have a red with the error. So now that this step run and you saw how it run, I'm going to close. Let's look at the results that you get. So this is the one I just tested. It ran, it passed, tells you the environment. You can see here what happened. I can click in that and it'll show me all the steps, and they're all green, so I know they all ran, and you can sit here and watch the video if you wanted to. You can download it to PDF or video if you need to export that out. Also, in the main results, you can even select multiple, and you can download to PDF, video, or even Excel out here. But typically, you're not running just one test, you're automating a full business process. And that's where scenarios, I'm going to go up here to the scenarios tab, that's where scenarios come in. A scenario allows you to chain multiple tests together to represent an end-to-end process like order to cash or procure to pay. I'll open my procure to pay. You can see there's a list of tests here that I've added that will run in the sequence that you put them in. Also, when you click add test, you can also do a cross application. So let's say you have a warehouse web application that runs some steps and then submits an order, and then you want it to jump into D365 and use that order. You can add the tests from different applications into one scenario. So when you run this, it'll run through those applications in the order you provide and jump from application to application. Also, you can schedule this. You can run it one-off, or you can have it recurring. You can run it weekly, nightly, whatever you want. There's no any charge for running test cases. We also have an integration into your DevOps pipeline. So you can integrate them into DevOps, then schedule them to run through your DevOps pipeline and have the results reported back in. So just to recap, that's a quick overview of elevaite365. You can build tests quickly using the recorder, run them automatically in the cloud, handle UI changes with the self-repair, and get full visibility into results. The goal is simple: take the testing you're already doing manually today, automate it once, and let it run continuously. Thank you for your time.